Zoolander 2. Zoolander 2 is... Oh, man. Zoolander 2 is directed by Ben Stiller and stars him as well, along with Owen Wilson, Will Ferrell, Penelope Cruz, Kristen Wiig, and tons of celebrity cameos, and is the much highly anticipated movie of the weekend. Or, you know, maybe that's Deadpool, but I was excited for this movie. Let me just say that. I was really looking forward to it because I love the first Zoolander. I think it's a hilarious movie and actually a really smart movie. And so I went into this one expecting a funny movie because I liked the trailers and I thought that, you know, with movies like Anchorman 2 showing that you can make still a funny comedy sequel 10 years later, I was excited for it, you know. I didn't expect it to be better. I didn't like Anchorman 2 better than the original Anchorman. Anchorman is like one of my favorite movies ever. It's hilarious. I don't expect the sequel to be better. I just want it to be funny. I want it to be funny and want to laugh, and Anchorman 2 gave me that, so I was excited for this movie. And I thought maybe I could just get some laughs and have a good time. Unfortunately, though, this movie is so disappointing. Maybe the most disappointing of the movie of the year, because this movie's just not funny in any way. It really is trying so hard to be funny, but it's just not at all. And that's really unfortunate because everyone in this movie is hilarious. Will Ferrell, Ben Stiller, I love Ben Stiller, Owen Wilson. Wow, yeah, Ben Stiller. That's my Owen Wilson there for you. Wow. But everybody in this movie is funny, and there are funny parts. I'm not gonna, let's be honest here. There was some parts of this movie that made me giggle, and oh wow, that was funny. Especially the opening scene, Justin Bieber gets killed, and it was super prolonged, and it was, over the top, and I thought that scene was done well, and it started pretty well in that way that I was like, okay, this is what we're in for. But then unfortunately, it just went downhill from there. The movie I felt was uninspired. Like I felt like they easily could have made such a better movie, but they just went with this okay script that had so many gags throughout that just don't make sense. I feel like a movie like this doesn't have to be serious, and it doesn't have to have big heart or anything, because the first movie didn't. You know, the first movie was dumb fun, but like I said in the beginning, it was smart. You know, there was some cleverness that went in. This movie is just not clever in any sort of way. I feel like it was really kind of lazy because it just took these characters and said, well, we're going to throw you into this crazy scene. And the absurdity of this movie really brought it down. The world has changed so much in the past 10 years since the first Zoolander. I felt like they easily could have made such a simpler story that was more about actual Zoolander and him like dealing with the world and everything, but it throws this insane story in there for no reason. I felt like it was just pointless. The whole movie, it just wasn't funny, except for some people. Some scenes did have me laughing though, because I don't want to completely trash this movie, because there were some parts that had me laughing quite a bit. Kristen Wiig was my favorite person. She wasn't in much of it. She had maybe 5 minutes total, but every time she talked, it was hilarious. I just could not stop laughing whenever she was talking, because she had this crazy, insane accent and her outfits and everything. Her character was really funny. Benedict Cumberbatch, he had a nice little cameo. All is all. He was super funny for like the minute he was in. And that was it, pretty much. I mean, Owen Wilson had some funny gags, but it's like he did such ridiculous things that just didn't make sense. I was like, did he do that stuff in the first movie? These ridiculous... He was like a super-powered person. Just out of nowhere, like, the filmmakers decided, you know, for this scene you could just do this, and it doesn't have to make sense. Well, I mean, it's kind of funny, maybe, for like a second, but you think about it, you're like, what? That doesn't make any sense. And the whole movie you're going through, and you're like, none of this makes sense. And for a movie like Anchorman, I think it does it so much better, because there's ridiculous things in it that happen, and the crazy fight scenes and all the things that happen in that movie, but it's put around a better story, so and it always goes back to something more real. So it doesn't just rely on all this insane setups. It goes back to something real and a good story and like something super funny that you could hold on to. With this, it's just ridiculous thing. Here's random scene. It doesn't flow well. It doesn't have a nice connective tissue throughout. It doesn't, like, the story is just not strong enough. It's so ridiculous of a story. None of the gags pay off because it doesn't come back to something that you care about. It doesn't, the gag doesn't end and then go into like, oh, let's get back into the funny story, then the storyline or whatever. It goes back into, oh, another stupid gag. Oh, here's another ridiculous scene. And some of them are funny, but most of them just don't pay off in any way, and that's so disappointing. All I wanted to do was laugh at this movie. I was really looking forward to it. 3 comedies come out this weekend. Well, 1 superhero movie / comedy, 1 romantic comedy, and 1 straight comedy. And I was hoping that maybe the funniest movie would be just a straight comedy, and it's definitely the biggest letdown. I'm so disappointed. I really wanted to love this movie, and it's just not funny. It's so ridiculous. I'm gonna have to go. Man, I hate to do. I don't want to go. I was really disappointed. I'm gonna have to go 1.5 out of 5 for Zoolander. It's a pretty bad movie. That hurts my heart. It hurts my heart. I wanted this movie to be so good, and it was so disappointing. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like this and you want to see more reviews from a guy like me, you can subscribe. And I'll see you at the next one.